Good morning to the Americas, from sea to shining sea, flyover country, and beyond. Good afternoon to Africa and Europe. Oh, it's afternoon in some of the Americas too. So good afternoon in Africa, Europe, and America. Good evening to Asia. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Kangen Water Health and Information International Call. Also, welcome to Kangen Water Radio, live on Facebook. We're so glad to have you today. I am family physician Dr. Lisa Singletary, your trusted health navigator, and I will be joined by my co-host and fearless leader, Mr. Terrence Hope, a Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire, and together we bring you the best of both worlds as we teach, promote, and discuss the three-pronged approach to health and wellness: hydration, detoxification, and complete nutrition. This is call number 375, maybe? Oh my goodness, I can't keep track. Yes, 375, and today we will be discussing actually this is an article that I found on healthline.com that really perked my interest. That's 8 fad diets that actually work. And I want to dig into that a little bit, so we will be reading that article a little bit later in the call. But first, I would like to bring to you our fearless leader, Mr. Terrence Hope, the vigilant, persistent, consistent health advocate and health influencer to the stars and to the globe. The Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire, Mr. Hope. Are you with us, sir?
And yes, Dr. Singletary, I am, and I am here. And so glad to be here as well. Good morning and good afternoon to you, Dr. Singletary. So good to see your face. And that bright smile that's so sunny, that really actually shines up the world. That's right. There it is.
I can't help it. I try to hold it in.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, and thank you all for as well joining us here on Kangen Water Radio, our new format, where we are featuring the Kangen Water Health and Information Now video call. We'll be here every Saturday, 12 noon Eastern Time, the USA. And as well, you can find us on, what time would that be? It would be 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom live, as well as 8 p.m. in Dubai. So the rest of the world, you have to do your own math. You know, so that's 12 noon USA Eastern Time, 4 p.m. UK throughout the United Kingdom. That's England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, and 8 p.m. in Dubai. Welcome all, and welcome all to joining us here on the Kangen Water Health and Information video call. And as Dr. Singletary said, I am Terrence Hope. I'm a 6A and Magic distributor and a certified holistic health coach. And here on the call, we look to bring you information about Kangen water and hydration, nutrition, and detoxification. We want to make sure that you have a thorough understanding of your health and what your body needs to stay healthy and to enjoy its self-healing mechanisms. Yeah. So here on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call, we explain what Kangen water is, how it works within the body, and how to best use it. Many people worldwide who are Enagic distributors and customers of Enagic, the Kangen Water Company, have been using Kangen water machines for many years. Sometimes they haven't necessarily fully understood how to use it and how to get the best benefits from it. Oftentimes, they have not really understood what Kangen water actually is. So we're here to explain that, wipe away all the mysteries, and bring you clarity. We're so very fortunate to be here with a board-certified family physician in Dr. Lisa Singletary, MD, who is now retired, yet lending her time to the understanding of nutrition, hydration, and detoxification, and how those benefit the body, while giving us the science background of our body in anatomy, organ function, and mechanisms of disease. And here we look to bring you the best of both worlds, as we always say, that you understand full nutrition, and you also understand the medical interaction with that within your body and biochemistry. So we love being here. We'll be here for the next hour. And, of course, you can chat with us if you'd like online and ask us little questions. Those who have joined us on the phone call line could, of course, hit *6 on the phone line. Now, 712-451-1190 is our USA phone line, 712-451-1190, access code 223-722, 223-722. Now, if you're on that line, you could always come to our Q&A session, and we'll explain how to do that later on to ask us questions live. Or you could simply go on the app. The app is freeconferencecall.com. Meeting ID is bestwater. Freeconferencecall.com, meeting ID bestwater. So join us, and we'll go into more information as we go forward, as we'll be here every Saturday, 12 noon, for as much as we can, to give you the best of information for your health. So I'll begin very briefly at the beginning. What is Kangen water? Yes? Kangen water is, in science terms, known as electrolyzed reduced water. What is that? That's a water produced in an electrical process where electricity comes in direct contact with the water molecule. When that happens, the process known as electrolysis, so you see the pattern, electrolyzed reduced water, electricity, electrolysis, everything about electricity, yes? So when that happens, water hit by electricity will produce negative charge ions. These are atoms that pair together and form new molecules, and one of them is known as molecular hydrogen. But overall, the water is producing a negative charge, yes? In our bodies, cell toxicity, free radicals, tend to have more of a positive charge. So when you drink up negative charged water, you're able more so to neutralize toxicity, which can neutralize inflammation, maximize your hydration, and maximize detoxification. It's within this environment that's more toxic-free that the body is better able to maintain its pH balance in all of the organs. Some of our organs are acidic. Some of the organs are more alkaline, yes? But all the organs in the body must maintain their own pH balance level, whether acidic or alkaline, in order for the whole body to be healthy. Remember this, the stomach is more acidic, yes? For women, the reproductive system is more acidic. The digestive system will have chambers that are more acidic depending on the stage of digestion. And then things like the heart, the lungs, the bloodstream, they operate at more of a pH alkaline level. Oftentimes people have been said to say that the body is alkaline. Drink alkaline water and then you'll be healthy. Well-meaning but not quite accurate. The body is not entirely alkaline. The body is both acidic in some organs and alkaline in others, and only at very specific levels. So our water, while it has a pH that's alkaline to it, as a measuring tool to indicate the strength of its antioxidant effect, is not actually alkalizing you. Our water is simply detoxing you so that your body, free of toxicity, can maintain its own pH equilibrium. Yeah? So that's the simplicity of what our water is. Kangen water is an electrically processed water that produces a negative charge that can then neutralize positive charge toxins and free radicals within your body. And in that environment, your body can be more healthy. Yes? So that's the concept of what we talk about here as we explain more and more about what Kangen water is. And then just briefly, you know, we have to really watch out for waters on the market that are known as alkaline water, because there's more than one way that a water can achieve alkalinity. And that does not mean that every alkaline water is actually beneficial for your health. For example, if you go to the store today, you will find many waters on the shelf these days called alkaline water. pH 8.0, pH 8.5, pH 9.5, all said to be very healthy waters, but are they? Kangen water is electrically processed, which means that high wattages of electricity is hitting the water, creating this antioxidant effect that we're getting when we drink Kangen water. Yes? Now, there is an alkaline aspect to the water that we use as a measuring tool. So with our water, because there are many negative charge ions within the water, there are also something called hydroxide ions or alkaline ions in the water. The greater the volume of the negative ions in our water, the greater the volume of negative charged molecules overall that are responsible for the detoxification effect, like that of molecular hydrogen. It gets a little complicated, but I'll try to keep it simple. The higher the pH of electrically processed water, the higher the volume of negative charged ions, the stronger the detox effect. You see? The higher the volume of alkaline ions within a Kangen water, electrically processed water, the higher volume of negative charged ions within the water, the higher the detox. So 8.5 pH, 9.0 pH, 9.5. The higher the pH, the stronger the detox. 8.5 is mid-range, is the lowest range and mildest detox. 9.0 is the mid-range, and 9.5 is the highest detox effect. So your water has to go through an electrical process to achieve a negative charge in the water that will then detox your body and allow for an optimized detox environment where your body can achieve its own self-regulating pH balance. Now, if you go to the store and you buy a alkaline water, that water in the store is not the same as Kangen water or electrolyzed reduced water. That water is simply mineralized. They took the concept of what Kangen water was, as it became famously known as alkaline water, and changed that to create their own type of alkaline water in the store. So in the store, the alkaline water is actually mineralized. They take minerals that are already alkaline, they add them to water, and when you add alkaline minerals to water and you test the pH, you're testing the minerals you just put in there. So you're not really creating something incredibly, grandly different, just a mixture. And in this case, it's not so much alchemy that achieves a healthy outcome. You have to compare it. Electrolyzed reduced water machines, known as Kangen water machines, go through an electrical process to convert it into a negatively charged antioxidant water. Yes? Mineralized water that's in the store, called alkaline water, is simply minerals dumped into water. And that does not have a negative charge. In fact, it's positively charged. So your body cannot use it, as far as its polarity, for a stronger detoxification, neutralization of free radicals, nor for better hydration. So electrolyzed reduced water, known as Kangen water, goes through an electrical process, has a negative charge, will detox the body. In the store these days, alkaline water that's mineralized, which is all that is in the store, is positively charged and cannot detox you. Two different waters, some similarity in property in terms of alkalinity, entirely different outcome. Yeah? So we want you to understand there's a difference and understand what the alkaline water is that's in the store, and understand what Kangen electrolyzed reduced water is. It's a negatively charged water that can detox the body. It happens to have an alkaline pH to it that we only use as a measuring tool for its detoxification effect. Yeah? So this is what Kangen water is. This is how it functions in the body. And we'll go forward to more talks where we go into more detail, and of course take questions as you have them coming forward, and give you a full explanation. So so right now, with that little summary on Kangen water as electrolyzed reduced water, I pass the call back to Dr. Singletary and her commentary as far as other things we need to understand about health. Dr. Lisa Singletary? Whoops, I think you're muted there, Dr. Singletary. Can't quite hear online. We have so many buttons here to push.
So much technology. I love how you say we're wiping away the mysteries and bringing clarity to this whole discussion of not just Kangen water, but of health overall, and the three-pronged approach: hydration, detoxification, and complete nutrition. When you brought that concept to the call, I thought that was huge, and that was over 2 years, almost 3 years ago, and it's still a great concept today, even as we learn more and more. So thank you, and thank you for giving us clarity on the difference between mineralized alkaline water and our electrolyzed reduced Kangen water. Okay, so this article, those of you who have been on the call, and even those of you who've seen the first couple of episodes of Kangen Water Radio, you know that I'm in a deep dive on the importance of protein in the diet. And I want to bring to you this article. Every once in a while, an article will catch my eye, and this article caught my eye during the week. And so I'm going to take a quick, tiny detour from focusing just on protein to bring you this article. I just love the title of this one. And healthline.com did not disappoint. This is 8 fad, they put fad in quotations, diets that actually work. Okay, here we go. Fad diets are extremely popular for losing weight. They typically promise rapid weight loss and other health benefits, yet often have no scientific evidence supporting their use. In addition, they're often nutritionally unbalanced and ineffective over the long term. However, there are some fad diets that have been found to produce weight loss in high-quality controlled studies. What's more, these diets can be healthy, well-balanced, and sustainable. Here are 8 fad diets that actually work. Number 1, Atkins Diet. I've told you the story on this call before. I actually met Dr. Atkins, and he challenged me. He really challenged me to give his research a second look. And I really am surprised to see it as number 1 from someone else's perspective, but I'm really happy to see it here. Okay, here we go. The Atkins Diet is the most famous low-carb weight loss diet in the world. Created by cardiologist Robert Atkins in the early 1970s, the Atkins Diet claims to produce rapid weight loss without hunger. It consists of 4 stages, including an initial 2-week induction phase that restricts carbs to 20 grams per day while allowing unlimited amounts of protein and fat. During this phase, your body begins converting fat into compounds called ketones and switches to using the ketones, as its main source of energy. That is, as opposed to glucose. Okay, after this, the Atkins Diet asks its followers to gradually add back their carbs in 5-gram increments in order to determine their critical carbohydrate levels for losing weight and maintaining the loss. Studies that compared the Atkins Diet to other diets have shown it to be at least as effective and frequently more effective for weight loss. In the famous A to Z study, 311 overweight women found the Atkins Diet followed the Atkins Diet, the low-fat Ornish diet, the Learn diet, or the Zone diet for 1 year. The Atkins group lost more weight than any other group. Other controlled studies have shown similar results with low-carb diets based on Atkins principles, along with improvements in heart disease risk factors. I'm so glad that, I wish he had lived to see this day, but I'm so glad Dr. Atkins is getting some kudos for his research and for his results. And as we think, where is protein? The protein isn't really highlighted, but we think about the fact that the body needs protein and will search for the protein. And if we restrict carbs, then that protein is going to come from meats maybe, and usually animal sources. But there are plant-based sources as well, as one of these diets talks about that. Okay, number 2, the South Beach Diet. Like Dr. Atkins, Dr. Arthur Agatston was a cardiologist interested in helping his patients lose weight sustainably and without going hungry. He liked certain aspects of the Atkins diet, but was concerned that the unrestricted use of saturated fats might increase the risk of heart disease. Therefore, in the mid-1990s, he created a lower carb, lower fat, high protein diet called the South Beach Diet, named for the area in South Florida where he practiced medicine. Although stage 1 of the diet is low in carbs and very low in fat, the diet becomes less restrictive in phases 2 and 3, which allows limited quantities of all types of unprocessed foods. That's a huge statement there, that the foods are unprocessed, while keeping a high protein intake. The diet encourages a high intake of protein because protein has been shown to burn more calories during digestion than carbs or fat. In addition, protein stimulates the release of hormones that suppress hunger and can help you feel full for hours. We are going to do a little talk about satiety and what triggers this feeling of satiety and how long it lasts. A large review of 24 studies, and we love reviews, found that high protein, low fat diets led to greater reductions in weight, fat, and triglycerides, and better retention of muscle mass than low fat, standard protein diets. I think we said that, I think I shared with you in the last call that in the standard American diet, with all of the processed carbs and all the processed foods that we eat, the protein intake is about 12% of calorie intake, which is, we need a certain amount of protein, and it's so easy for that calorie count to climb because of the processing of the food. But our ancestral Paleo hunter-gatherer diet, our protein intake was about 50% of caloric intake. So protein is, like I said, something we are really working hard to unravel the importance of and optimizing in all of our lifestyles. Okay. There are many anecdotal reports of weight loss on the South Beach diet, as well as a published 12-week study looking at its effects. And 12 weeks isn't that long when it comes to a diet. But in this study, pre-diabetic adults dropped an average of 11 pounds or 5.2 kilograms and lost an average of 2 inches off their waists. Now that's very important because we talked about the waist to height ratio being such an important marker of health and insulin resistance. Additionally, they experienced a reduction in fasting insulin levels and an increase in cholecystokinin, CCK, or hormone that promotes fullness. Although the diet is nutritious overall, it required an unwarranted, drastic restriction of saturated fat and encourages the use of processed vegetable and seed oils, which may lead to all kinds of health problems. So yeah, an ixnay on the vegetable oils and the seed oils. Number 3 was the vegan diet. Interesting, right? We've jumped from high protein, mostly animal-based, to plant-based. They've been criticized for being unbalanced and extreme because they contain no animal products. On the other hand, they've also been praised for being an ethical, healthy way of eating. Importantly, vegan diets can be healthy or unhealthy depending on the types of foods they contain. It's unlikely that you can lose weight while eating large amounts of processed foods and beverages. However, studies have shown that vegan diets based on whole foods can lead to weight loss and may reduce several risk factors for heart disease. One 6-month controlled study of 63 overweight adults compared the outcomes of 5 different diets. Those in the vegan group lost more than twice as much weight as those in any of the other groups. Moreover, longer studies have shown that vegan diets can yield impressive results. In a 2-year controlled study of 64, so 2-year controlled study of 64 overweight older women, those who ate a vegan diet lost nearly 4 times as much weight compared to the low-fat diet group. Okay, so I would like them to do this study with low carb, not low fat. Okay, number 4, here we go. My personal favorite, mostly, is the ketogenic diet. Although the ketogenic diet has been called a fad diet, there's no denying it could be very effective for losing weight. It works by lowering levels of insulin and shifting your primary fuel source from sugar or glucose to ketones. These compounds are made from fatty acids, and your brain and other organs can burn them for energy. When your body doesn't have carbs to burn and switches to ketones, you're in a state called ketosis. However, unlike the Atkins and other low-carb diets, ketogenic diets don't gradually increase their carbs. Instead, they keep the carb intake very low to ensure followers stay in ketosis. Indeed, ketogenic diets typically provide less than 50 grams of total carbs per day, and often less than 30. I've even, for different people, different needs, 20 or even down to 15. A large analysis of 13 studies found that ketogenic diets not only boost the loss of weight and body fat, but may also reduce inflammatory markers, ding, 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 and decrease risk factors in those who are overweight or obese. In a controlled 2-year study of 45 obese adults, those in the ketogenic group dropped 27.5 pounds or 12.5 kilograms and lost 29 inches or 11.4 centimeters from their waists on average. This was significantly more than the low-fat group, even though both groups were calorie restricted. Moreover, even when calories aren't intentionally restricted, ketogenic diets tend to reduce calorie intake. A recent review of several studies has suggested that this may be because ketones help suppress appetite. Okay, those are the top 4. Let me quickly go to the bottom 4, the Paleo diet, the Zone diet. I met Dr. Barry Sears actually the same day that I met Dr. Atkins. They had what they called it a food fight. It was at this conference. It was wonderful. The Dukan diet, D-U-K-A-N, and the 5-2 diet. And I will take a little break right now and see if we're going to have some questions or comments, or if Mr. Hope has any comments he wants to add. And or if anyone on Facebook has any questions or comments. I don't see any hands on the freeconferencecall.com side. So let me pull up Mr. Hope. Okay, now I can see you. Any Facebook? Any Facebook comments?
Well, Dr. Secretary, the information you bring is so vital. Because, even as Kangen water, distributors and Kangen water consumers, many people have only ever looked at water. Now, it's a big jump, because once upon a time, people didn't look at water. They just said, oh, I'm fine, I'll drink whatever, I'll eat whatever, and everything is good. And I know even me as an athlete who was very competitive in my high school years and also back in my college years, track and field, rowing, in eights in college. And I did a lot of heavy competition at a very extreme level, and I never drank as much water then as I do now. It lets me think, well, what if I was educated about water back then? So now we've all come to a new education level where we know more about water. And everyone has purchased their Kangen water machines, and you're drinking great water. And now, hopefully with our instruction, you're drinking it most effectively to get the most out of it for your health. But then people are missing other factors, nutrition, what to eat, how to eat, what foods you should be eating, what are good foods, what are actually bad foods. As you have talked many times about the good food and bad food list, and so I'm very glad that you bring this subject matter where people can take a look at, what's better for food, and then even comparing these different, diets, and where different experts will say, well, okay, if you eat this way, this is best for your body. If you eat that way, this is best for your body. And now you're giving us an opportunity to listen, look, and compare, so we can make a choice for ourselves, but overall understand what's best. And I think that if I could even speak for you for a second, you've often talked about having full nutrition, making sure that people have everything they need, from their minerals to their vitamins to their amino acids to their essential fatty acids, because it's a full complex that we need in our system. Oftentimes people will lean on one food group or another food group, not recognizing you need all the food groups, and in a substantive manner. And sometimes supplementation is even so important because all of our foods don't necessarily have, in our modern day, the full nutrition level they should have based upon where they've been planted and what the mineral levels have been in the soil. So I'm very thankful to hear about that and hear you, give us information on this. So we need this.
Thank you, Mr. Hope. It's very interesting when you say about supplementation, because there is a controversy in the nutrition / diet / wellness arena about whether supplements are needed or not. And my new favorite guru, Dr. Ted Naiman from Seattle, Washington, or that area, does not supplement, does not recommend supplements, although I love his concept about the protein to energy ratio. Like in the last call, I named it, what is your protein costing you? Like how many calories is your body making you eat just to get the protein that you need? And how can you tweak that to increase your satiety? I mean, he's got, his book is called The PE Diet. Love it, love it, love it. But I do disagree with him on supplementation. Now, he does live in an area with volcanic soil, right? And he also grew up in Loma Linda, which is a blue zone. So his entire life, he's pretty much been in areas where the soil is fully mineralized. So I can see how he would come to that conclusion based on his experience. But when you see the maps of the minerals in the crust of the earth, from satellite images, you can see it is not uniform. The minerals are in veins. That's why we have gold. Gold is mineral, right? Gold is found in veins in the earth, just like chocolate in fudge ripple ice cream. It's not uniform through the crust of the earth. So if you happen to live in a state that has no selenium in the soil, then I don't care how local, farm to table, organic, all of these things we do, we vote with our wallets to get the grass fed or to get the range. We do all these things, but if it's not in the soil, those nutrients are not going to get into us. So I believe that supplementation, unless you happen to live in a blue zone or in a volcanic zone or, somewhere that's superbly mineralized, that we do need to supplement to get the micronutrients that we need. Now, back to this article, when it talked about the vegan diet, it made this one little statement. It said that it was criticized for being unbalanced and extreme because it contains no animal products. Now, nothing against the vegetarians, right? But it is a scientific fact that there are 12 essential amino acids that we need. Essential, what does that word mean? It means two things. It means that they're needed. That's essential. But scientifically, when something is essential, it means that our bodies cannot make it. It can't produce it. So it's very difficult for a vegan to get all of the essential amino acids. They have to work very hard at combining foods and whatnot. It's possible. They can do it, of course. We see their results. But it's much easier if you're eating an egg, right? Because all of the essential amino acids are there in the animal products. Just that caveat about the importance of the micronutrients. And thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Hope, because I didn't highlight them today. But we need the right macronutrients. That's proteins, fats, carbohydrates. And we need the right micronutrients, just minerals, amino acids, vitamins, and essential fatty acids. All of those are essential. Okay. So diet number 5, the Paleo diet. The Paleo diet, short for the Paleolithic diet, is based on the diets that the hunter-gatherers ate thousands of years ago. Paleo has been classified as a fad diet because it restricts many foods, including dairy, legumes, and grains. In addition, critics have pointed out that it isn't practical or even possible to eat the same foods that our prehistoric ancestors did. However, the Paleo diet is a balanced, healthy way of eating that eliminates processed foods, ding, 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 and encourages its followers to eat a wide variety of plant and animal foods. In addition, studies suggest that the Paleo diet may help you lose weight and become healthier. In one study, 70 obese older women followed either a Paleo diet or a standard diet. After 6 months, the Paleo group had lost significantly more weight and abdominal fat than the other group. They also had a greater reduction in the triglyceride levels in the blood. What's more, this way of eating may promote the loss of visceral fat, the particularly dangerous type of fat found in your abdomen and liver that promotes insulin resistance and increases the risk of disease. In a 5-week study, 10 obese older women who ate a Paleo diet lost 10 pounds or 4.5 kilos in 5 weeks and had, listen to this, a 49% reduction in liver fat on average. In addition, the women experienced reductions in blood pressure, insulin, blood sugar, and cholesterol. The Zone diet was created in the this is number 6, it's created in the mid-1990s by Dr. Barry Sears, a U.S.-based biochemist. It's been classified as a fad diet due to its premise that a strict ratio of protein, fat, and carbs is required for optimal weight loss and overall health. This eating plan specifies that your calorie intake should be made up of 30% lean protein, 30% healthy fat, and 40% high fiber carbs. In addition, these foods are to be consumed as a prescribed number of blocks at meals and snacks. And I think the blocks might be aiming at the idea that the body can only absorb so much energy and so much nutrition at one time. One of the ways the zone diet is proposed to work is by, let me do the dings in advance. Ding, 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 ding. Reducing inflammation. Ding, ding, ding. Which allows you to lose weight more easily. Studies to date suggest the zone diet can be effective for losing weight and reducing blood sugar, insulin resistance, and inflammation. In a controlled 6-week study of overweight adults, those who ate the zone diet lost more weight and body fat than the low-fat group. Again, what if they put this against low carb? I think there would be a big difference in the results. In another study, 33 people followed one of 4 different diets. The zone diet was shown to help participants lose the most fat and to increase the ratio of anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids to omega-6 fatty acids. And we did do a call on omega-3 foods, right? Which foods you can use. Can anyone say wild-caught Alaskan salmon to increase your omega-3s in your diet? Number 7, the Dupont Diet, D-U-K-A-N. Looking at the initial stages of the Dupont Diet, it's easy to see why it's often classified as a fad diet. Developed by French doctor Pierre Dupont. I guess I should have said it with the French accent. In the 1970s, the Dupont Diet consists of 4 stages. It starts with the attack phase, which consists almost entirely of unlimited lean protein foods. The rationale for this very high protein intake is that it will lead to rapid weight loss as a result of boosting metabolism and significantly decreasing appetite. Other foods are added with each stage until the stabilization phase, where no foods are strictly off limits, but high protein foods and vegetables are encouraged. The final phase also requires that you eat only attack phase foods once a week. So that's kind of like intermittent fasting of carbs and oils, of fat. As extreme as this diet seems, it does appear to produce weight loss. Polish researchers assessed the diets of 51 women who followed the Dupont diet for 8 to 10 weeks. The women lost an average of 33 pounds, or 15 kilos, while consuming about 1,000 calories and 100 grams of protein per day. Although there isn't much research on the Dupont diet specifically, studies have found that similar high-protein diets may be effective for weight loss. Indeed, a systematic review of 13 control studies found that high-protein, low-carb diets, ding, 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 are more effective than low-fat diets for producing weight loss and reducing the risk factors for heart disease. And number 8, I'm so glad they included this one, the 5-2 diet. The 5-2 diet, also called the fast diet, is a type of intermittent fasting known as alternate day fasting. So we've done a few calls on intermittent fasting. There are many different ways to do intermittent fasting, but the idea is you give the body a rest and you let the energy that the body would normally use for digestion, for metabolism, that can go now to regeneration and restoration and elimination of toxins. Okay. On this diet, you eat normally for 5 days a week and restrict your calorie intake to 500 to 600 calories for 2 days a week, resulting in an overall calorie deficit that leads to weight loss. The 5-2 diet is considered a form of modified alternate day fasting. By contrast, some types of alternate day fasting involve going without food for a full 24 hours. The extremely low calorie allotment on the 2 fast days has led some to classify the 5-2 diet as a fad diet. However, the evidence supporting the health benefits of alternate day fasting is growing, and it seems to be a legitimate option for weight loss. Research suggests that alternate day fasting doesn't cause excessive calorie intake on eating days. That's important. This may be due to the release of peptide YY, a hormone that makes you feel full and helps you to eat less. Importantly, alternate day fasting hasn't been shown to cause greater weight loss than standard diets containing the same number of calories. However, several studies have found that both approaches can be effective for losing weight and belly fat. What's more, although it isn't possible to completely prevent loss of muscle while losing weight, alternate day fasting seems to be superior for maintaining muscle mass when compared to conventional forms of calorie restriction. Well, hello, conventional forms of calorie restriction, they ignore protein, right? So protein, I think, is going to be a really beneficial focus for us. Also, calorie restriction, when you lower your calories on a daily basis, your body compensates. We are designed for survival. And so your body will get the message, there are not enough calories around, better cut back on, slow down the metabolism. And people will find, of course, that after restricting calories to a certain point, they have initial weight loss, but then they plateau and find that they have to cut their calories back even more. That's because they're training their bodies to preserve the calories and so decrease the energy that's used in metabolism. Alternate day fasting and intermittent fasting kind of tricks the body into thinking, okay, we're not in survival mode. I don't have to decrease my metabolic rate, even though I only had 500 calories yesterday, because we've got a regular amount of calories today. So watching that metabolic rate and keeping that high while altering your macronutrients to the greatest advantage, and I think that's going to be a high protein, low carb situation, I think will give us the most benefits when we are looking to improve, not just lose weight, but improve our health because of this inflammation factor. Does it?
Amen. Amen. You know, and Dr. Singletary, I particularly noted you were talking about the gentleman who was not recommending supplements for the diet while he had a good diet program for people to be involved in. And you mentioned that he lived in an environment where there was a lot of volcano activity, at least historical volcanic activity that led to a mineral richness in the soil where he lived. And yeah, I know it's one of the things that you have talked about in the past. I know Dr. Wallach has talked about in the past about supplementation and its importance, but also at the same time recognizing that in certain parts of the world where people do live in a mineral-rich environment and they are perhaps growing their own food, or the system in that town or region is more akin to making sure that they're growing their food in the soil while the soil is mineral rich and perhaps not overexhausting that soil.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I can see then where a person who lives in that environment would say, "Oh, something's not important." Okay? Well,
Right.
you're not in the world where the industrialized system has taken over people's, growing food, and now it's changed things. It's one thing to have a land that you control on your own, and it's naturally rich for whatever reason, and you're not over farming it. It's a whole other thing when the industrialized produce industry is now planting food for you, and it costs them money to put minerals in the soil that they're growing your food in. And whereas it might require 60 different minerals to be in the soil to ensure that all of your produce is getting its full nutrition level, they very well might be able to go ahead and likely are growing your produce in 3 minerals.
NPK.
60 minerals, 3 minerals. And so, and because what they discovered is you could still grow those nutrients in minerals to the soil, and it will look like an apple, it'll taste like an apple, it'll feel like an apple, but when you eat it, because it wasn't in a mineral-rich soil, you're now getting diminished nutrition from that particular apple, and you figure, oh, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating apples, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I have no idea you're consuming, but you're starving.
There you go. I'm writing that one down. I have to keep a notepad next to me when you talk, because I have to write down these gems that you come up with. But yes, we're consuming, over-consuming even, yet starving.
Yet starving. And so it's a wonderful convenience, and I guess in our world today, luxury almost, to be in an environment where you don't know the difference, because your environmental soil is very rich. And so I live in a rich environment. Doesn't everybody?
Well, not only that, his patient success rate is tremendous using his dietary exercise, all of his recommendations. His patients do very, very well. But where are they living? In the Great Pacific Northwest with all of this rich, fertile soil. So, I
location.
love his program about the macronutrients. I think he's missing something from the micronutrients for the rest of us.
Good to know. Well, he needs to export his program and see the variation, and perhaps then he might see, okay, what is the problem with the environment in other places, and have that much a greater appreciation for his mineral-rich environment. Yeah.
Well, I actually am hoping to develop a dialogue with him at some point. He's been that impressive to me. His logic, his research, his other conclusions. So stay tuned. We've got more to glean from him, I believe.
And what is that doctor's name? Can you say?
Dr. Ted Naiman, Naiman. He's a family physician in the Great Pacific Northwest. And he's got a huge, what is his website? burnfatnotsugar.com, I think. Something like that is his website. But his book is definitely the PE diet, protein to energy ratio diet.
Impressive. Yeah. So where do we go from here? So we're closing in towards the end of our Kangen Water Health and Information debut video call, where I, Terrence Hope, an Atlantic 6A distributor, and Dr. Lisa Singletary, ND, come to bring you the best of both worlds, understanding full nutrition and the medical background behind the way your body functions and what it needs to be at its healthiest point. And we're glad to be here. We'll be here every Saturday at 12 noon So make a note of that in your calendars as we begin to broadcast more and advertise more about our new location and our new event here on Kangen Water Radio. We have historically been on an audio conference call, audio only, for the past several years, and that has been very successful. We've been very glad to bring information to those who are drinking Kangen water so they can understand more about their machines, how to use them properly, understand what Kangen water is, and properly use the terms necessary to describe what it is as a electrolyzed reduced water and electrolyzed reduced water. We try to avoid that laws about alkaline water because there's more than one way to make your body alkaline, and we certainly don't want to make an alkaline body. Yes, your body is both alkaline and acidic depending on the organs, the chamber, and in the body, and so we want to make you more fully aware of what your body is and how it really functions as a self-healing entity. Yeah, so we're glad to be here every Saturday. We'll continue for a time with our Wednesday call, which is every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time in the United States. But going forward on video, we might expand some new areas, and we'll let you know about those updates as they come along. That's it.
Thank you, everyone. We loved having you today. We'll love seeing you on the replay on Facebook Live. And thank you to our amazing engineer that's making all of this technology happen, even though I don't always click the right buttons. We love you all. Have a great rest of the weekend. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hope. Bless you.
Goodbye.